Hello and good morning to our fellow students. In this session, we would be discussing our new topic, which is all about the slope of a line. But first, what is a coordinate plane? It is a two-dimensional plane that is formed by an intersection of two lines, which are the horizontal and vertical lines. Quadrant is the division between the lines and consists of four regions. The horizontal line is called the x-axis and the vertical line is the y-axis. This region, which is called the center part, is called an origin. Since a quadrant has four regions, let us identify their signs between each sections. The upper right is the first quadrant and it consists of a positive x-axis and a positive y-axis. The upper left is identified as the second quadrant and it consists of a positive y-axis and a negative x-axis. The third quadrant, which is in the lower left, consists of a negative x-axis and a negative y-axis. Practically, they are both negative signs. And lastly, the fourth quadrant, which is located at the bottom right, consists of a negative y-axis and a positive x-axis.
These quadrants represents the coordination and relation of the origin as well as the x and y axis.
These quadrants create different signs and patterns that consist of two positive axes, one positive and negative axis, two negative axes, and one negative and positive axis. Now that you know what a
coordinate plane,
Axis
origin,
and quadrant.
Let's now proceed to our topic, which is the slope of a line.
What are the goals of this lesson? The goal of this lesson is
explain the concepts with the Cartesian coordinate plane and apply the slope of a line formula to geometric problems. We all know that every point in the plane corresponds to an ordered pair, and every ordered pair corresponds to a point in a coordinate plane. This is what we call one-to-one correspondence. This ordered pair identifies the location and placement on where the slope stiffness occur, whether it is a positive or a negative, which both owns.
Since there are two axes, x and y axis, and they have either positive or negative, the x-axis is directing towards left to right, identifying left as the negative side and right as the positive side, while the y-axis is directing towards above and below, pertaining to up as the positive side and negative side down. I have a trivia. Do you know that the term slope is used to refer to the steepness of a line? And do you know that it is calculated as rise over run?
But what is a rise over run?
Rise means how many units you move up or down from point to point. Run means how far left or right you move from point to point.
Now that we know what rise and run means, what is the formula for the slope?
The slope of a line is identified by the formula m is equals to y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. Or, it can also be solved by the formula m is equals to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1.
For further more elaboration, we have prepared different kinds of examples. The first example is 4 and 2 and negative 1 and negative 3.
First, identify which is the x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. If done, arrange the given indicated in the formula m is equals to negative 3 minus 2 over negative 1 minus 4. Evaluate the given negative 3 minus 2 is equals to negative 5 negative 1 minus 4 is equals to negative 5. The equation should look like this: negative 5 over negative 5. Simplify. The answer would be 1. Since it was the same value, the line will be upward to the right.
The second example is 2 and negative 2, and the other one is negative 4 and 2.
Identify and arrange the given m is equals to negative 2 minus 2 over 2 minus negative 4. Solve the equation. Negative 2 minus 2 is 4 and 2 minus 4 will be 6. Negative 4 over 6 is equals to negative 2 third, and its line will be considered as downward to the right.
Third example is negative 9 and 7 and 4 and 7. Again, identify and arrange the numbers, and it should be m is equals to 7 minus 7 over negative 9 minus 4. Evaluate the given. 7 minus 7 equals to 0, and negative 9 minus 4 is equals to negative 13. The equation should look like this: 0 over negative 3, simplify, the answer would be 0, and the line will be horizontal.
Fourth example is negative 2 and 1, and the other one is negative 2 and 7.
Use the step-by-step procedure, which is identify and arrange. M is equals to 7 minus 1 over negative 2 minus negative 2. Solve the equation. 7 minus 1 is 6. Negative 2 minus negative 2 will be 0. 6 over 0 will be considered as unidentified and vertical.
Here is another example. Slope is equals to rise over run, which means the distance between 2 points, whether how far your change has been risen or have went left or right. It can be identified as m is equals to delta y over delta x. Delta y and delta x is also the meaning that changes in y and the change in x. If we simplify, we would have y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Let's have another example, which is negative 1 and 4, and the other one is 3 and negative 8. Identify which is x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. Arrange the numbers according to the formula, which is negative 8 minus 4 over 3 minus negative 1 is equals to negative 12 over 4. Simplify the numbers by dividing 4 into negative 12, and the answer will be negative 3. And those were the examples to furthermore enlighten our topic, knowing and identifying the given upon solving an equation.
ました。